Kate Winters looked at herself in the mirror and smoothed down her dress. Today was not her wedding day yet, but soon it would be. 5 more days until she married Darian Voss, the Centauri diplomat who had stolen her heart. She smiled at her reflection, then frowned when she noticed the small scar on her collarbone that her dress didn't quite hide. Some scars could be hidden, others could not, and some were not on her skin at all. Her apartment on Mars Colony had a beautiful view of the dome that covered New Seattle. Outside, the red planet's dust swirled against the clear barriers that kept the humans safe. Inside, Kate had built a new life, far from her past. "You look lost in thought," said a voice from the doorway. Kate turned to see Olivia Clark, her best friend and maid of honor. Kate's face changed instantly, the darkness in her eyes replaced by warmth and joy. "Just wedding nerves," Kate said, her voice light. "Did you bring the flowers?" Olivia held up a sample of the blue roses that would decorate the Mars Botanical Gardens during the ceremony. "They match the color scheme perfectly," she said. Kate nodded her approval. Everything needed to be perfect. Representatives from 17 alien species would attend the wedding. It was not just a marriage, but a symbol of human-alien relations. Kate's job as cultural liaison for Earth's diplomatic corps made her wedding a political event, whether she wanted it to be or not. Her computer beeped with an incoming call. Kate saw her father's name and answered it. "Dad," she said with a smile. Colonel Joseph Winters appeared on the screen, his military haircut still sharp despite his retirement. "Katie," he said. "How's my girl? Ready for the big day?" "Almost. Mom and Eric got in yesterday. How long until you arrive?" "My shuttle leaves Earth tomorrow. I'll be there in plenty of time to walk you down the aisle." Kate felt her throat tighten. Her father didn't know about her past. Nobody in her family did. 5 years ago, General Miller had given her a new identity, and Kate Winters was born. Before that, she had been someone else. Someone called Baba Yaga by those who feared her. "Can't wait to see you, Dad," she said. After the call ended, Olivia went to check on the catering arrangements, leaving Kate alone. She walked to her closet and opened a hidden panel in the back wall. Inside was a small box. Kate opened it and looked at the single item inside. A silver hairpin with a sharp, and it was the only thing she had kept from her old life. She would wear it in her hair during the wedding, her own private reminder of who she had been. The door chimed and Kate quickly closed the box, hiding it away again. She checked the security screen and smiled when she saw Darian. She opened the door. "I know it's bad luck to see the bride before the wedding," Darian said, his alien features arranged in what Kate had learned was a smile. His skin had a slight blue tint, and his eyes were larger than human eyes, but to Kate he was beautiful. "That's an old Earth custom," Kate said, letting him in. "Besides, we still have 5 days." Darian brought news from the diplomatic center. The hegemony, the largest power in the galaxy, had sent a message confirming their representatives would attend the wedding. Kate felt uneasy at this news. The hegemony had always been hostile toward Earth, viewing humans as primitive and dangerous. Their sudden interest in a human-alien wedding was strange. "Is something wrong?" Darian asked, noticing her expression. "No," Kate lied smoothly. 5 years of peace hadn't dulled her instincts. Something felt off, but she pushed the feeling away. "I'm just surprised they're coming." Later, after Darian left, Kate walked to the diplomatic quarter of New Seattle. She noticed subtle changes in the security patterns, different guards, a new scanning system at the entrance. Small things that most people wouldn't see, but Kate wasn't most people. She entered her office and checked her messages. One was from her brother Eric, a lawyer for the diplomatic corps. He wanted to meet for dinner. Another was from General Miller back on Earth. The message simply read, "Call me. Secure line." Kate closed her office door and activated the security protocol that would prevent anyone from listening in. Then she called the number she had memorized years ago. "It's been a while, Baba Yaga," General Patricia Miller said when her face appeared on the screen. Don't call me that, Kate said. That person doesn't exist anymore. General Miller's face was serious. There's something you need to know. We've detected unusual hegemony activity near Mars. Their flagship arrived in the system yesterday, Admiral. Zorax's ship? Kate asked, her body tensing automatically. Yes. Official reason is to support their diplomatic team for your wedding, but our intelligence suggests they might have another purpose. What purpose? We don't know yet. But be careful, Kate. Your wedding has attracted more attention than we expected. After the call ended, Kate sat still for a long time. She had spent 5 years building her new life, becoming Catherine Winters. She had fallen in love with Darian, made friends, reconnected with her family. Now she felt her past reaching for her like a shadow. That night, Kate checked the security systems in her apartment 3 times. She moved the silver hairpin from its box to under her pillow. Old habits came back easily. In her dreams, she was running through dark corridors, her hands covered in blood that wasn't her own. When she woke up, she lay still, listening to the quiet hum of the Mars colony air systems. Everything was peaceful, but Kate knew better than most how quickly peace could shatter. The next day, as Kate and Olivia visited the botanical gardens to finalize the wedding setup, Kate noticed a maintenance worker watching her too closely. When their eyes met, he looked away too quickly. Kate memorized his face without seeming to pay attention. Later, she ran his image through a secure database that she wasn't supposed to have access to anymore. The man was not in any Mars colony employee records. Trouble sleeping? Olivia asked, during lunch noticing the dark circles under Kate's eyes. Wedding planning is stressful, Kate said with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. She changed the subject. Have you seen the guest list? Over 200 people. It's going to be the event of the year, Olivia said excitedly. Or a perfect target, Kate thought, but didn't say. That afternoon, her father arrived from Earth. Colonel Winters hugged his daughter tightly. You look beautiful, Katie, he said. Your mother and I are so proud of you. Kate felt tears in her eyes. Her parents thought they knew her. They had no idea what their daughter had done in the service of humanity. The lives she had taken. The missions she had completed that would never appear in any official record. At dinner with her family, Kate tried to focus on their happiness. Her brother Eric told jokes. Her mother Susan showed pictures of Kate as a child. For a few hours, Kate almost forgot her worries, but as she walked home alone that night, she felt eyes on her. Someone was following her. Without changing her pace, Kate took a different route home, one that led through a less crowded area. She turned a corner and pressed herself against the wall, waiting. The footsteps came closer. When the figure passed by, Kate moved with lightning speed. She grabbed the follower and pinned them against the wall, her forearm against their throat. It was a hegemony alien, its 4 eyes wide with shock. Why are you following me? Kate demanded. The alien made a choking sound, then laughed. The rumors were wrong, it said in broken English. You are not just a diplomat. Kate pressed harder. Who sent you? But before the alien could answer, 2 more appeared at the end of the street. Kate released her captive and ran, disappearing into the night like a ghost. Back in her apartment, Kate contacted General Miller again. The hegemony is watching me, she said. And they know something. Should we cancel the wedding? The general asked. Kate thought of Darian, of how happy he made her, of the 5 years of peace she had found. No, she decided. But I need you to send me something, just in case. 3 days before the wedding, a package arrived for Kate. Inside was a wedding gift from a distant cousin. Kate locked her doors before opening it. Inside was a small device that would not appear on any security scan. It had been part of her standard equipment in her old life. Kate hid the device in her dress. She hoped she wouldn't need it. But Baba, Yaga had never believed in hope. She believed in preparation, and Kate Winters was prepared for whatever might come. The morning of the wedding arrived with the artificial sunlight of Mars colony streaming through Kate's windows. She stood very still as Olivia helped her into the white dress. The fabric felt smooth against her skin, hiding the small device. she had attached to her thigh, just in case. "You look perfect," Olivia said, stepping back to admire her friend. Kate smiled, but her eyes stayed watchful. She had hardly slept. Every sound in the night had made her tense, ready for an attack that never came. Now, as the time grew closer, she felt both relief and growing worry. Perhaps she had been wrong. Perhaps the hegemony aliens were really here just for the wedding. Her mother, Susan, entered the room and gasped when she saw Kate in her wedding dress. "My beautiful girl," she said, tears in her eyes. Kate hugged her mother, careful not to wrinkle her dress. "Is Dad ready?" "He's waiting outside." So proud in his old uniform. Kate looked at herself one more time in the mirror. She carefully placed the silver hairpin in her hair. Olivia had thought it was just a family heirloom. Only Kate knew its true purpose. Her father knocked on the door. "Ready, Katie?" Colonel Winters looked handsome in his formal military uniform, his medals shining. He offered his arm to Kate, and together they walked to the transport that would take them to the Mars Botanical Gardens. The gardens were the most beautiful place on Mars colony. Real plants from Earth grew under the dome, creating a green oasis in the red planet's landscape. Today, blue roses decorated the chairs that lined the aisle. Guests from 17 alien species filled the seats, their different shapes and colors making a strange but wonderful sight. Kate scanned the crowd as she entered with her father. She spotted her brother Eric sitting next to their mother in the front row. Behind them sat General Miller, who had arrived that morning. Kate had not expected her to come. At the end of the aisle stood Darian, wearing the formal blue robes of his homeworld. Next to him stood his friend Galen, who had traveled from Centauri to be his best man. When Darian saw Kate, his large eyes seemed to grow even wider. As Kate walked slowly down the aisle, she continued to study the guests. In the middle rows sat the hegemony representatives, their tall, thin bodies and four-eyed faces standing out among the crowd. Kate recognized Admiral Zorax, the military leader of the hegemony. Why would someone so important come to her wedding? It made no sense unless... Kate pushed the thought away. This was her wedding day. She would not let old fears ruin it. The ceremony began. The human official welcomed everyone and spoke about the importance of love that crossed the boundaries of different worlds. Kate and Darian faced each other. Darian took her hands in his. His skin felt cool against hers. "Today we join not just two people, but two worlds," the official said. "Darian and Catherine, you may now exchange your vows." Darian began to speak, his voice filled with emotion. "Catherine Winters, from the moment I met you..." A sound like thunder interrupted his words. The dome above the garden rippled as if hit by something. Guests looked up in confusion. Kate did not look up. She was watching the hegemony representatives. They had not reacted with surprise like the others. They had known it was coming. Kate saw Admiral Zorax touch something on his wrist. Suddenly, 6 figures appeared in the aisle. They had been invisible before, hidden by cloaking technology. They wore the black armor of Hegemony Special Forces. They held weapons pointed at the guests. "Nobody move," one of them shouted in rough English. Darian stepped in front of Kate protectively. "What is the meaning of this?" he demanded. One of the armored figures fired a weapon. A blue light hit Darian, and he fell to the ground. Guests began to scream and run. The hegemony soldiers fired more blue lights, and people fell wherever they were hit. Neural disruptors, Kate whispered to herself. The weapons wouldn't kill, just paralyze. They wanted prisoners, not bodies. The leader of the strike team walked straight toward Kate. "Catherine Winters," he said in a voice that didn't sound human. "You will come with us." Kate's father tried to stand between them. "Stay away from my daughter." The alien knocked Colonel Winters aside easily. He hit the ground hard and didn't move. Something inside Kate broke free. 5 years of peace, of pretending to be just Catherine Winters' cultural liaison and bride, fell away like water. In their place stood something else, someone else. The alien reached for her arm. Kate moved. To everyone watching, she became a blur in white. Her hand found the hairpin in her hair and pulled it free. In one smooth motion, she drove it into the alien's neck, right where she knew their armor was weakest. The alien made a surprised sound and fell. The other 5 turned their weapons on Kate, but she was already moving. She tore her dress up the side to free her legs. The device on her thigh was now in her hand. She pressed a button and it extended into a short fighting staff. "Protect the civilians," she shouted to General Miller, who was already moving to help guests escape. One of the aliens fired at Kate. She dodged the blue light and closed the distance between them faster than seemed possible for a human. She struck with her staff, and the alien crumpled. The remaining 4 spread out to surround her. Kate stood in the middle of the aisle, her white dress now torn, her hair falling around her face. She held her staff ready. "You made a mistake," she told them, her voice cold and deadly. "This was supposed to be my wedding day." The aliens attacked all at once. Kate moved like water, flowing between them, striking with speed and precision that no human should have. One by one, they fell. Some guests who hadn't escaped watched in shock as the bride in white took down armed soldiers with terrifying efficiency. Admiral Zorak stood and drew a weapon of his own. "Enough!" he shouted. "You are not what we expected, human." Kate turned to face him, her eyes dark with a rage she had kept buried for 5 years. "And what did you expect, Admiral? Our intelligence said you were a weapons developer, important to Earth's secret programs." Kate almost laughed. "I'm not a developer of weapons," she said as she stepped closer to him. "I am the weapon, Admiral." Zorax fired his weapon. Kate deflected the shot with her staff and kept coming. Fear showed on the Admiral's alien face. He turned to run, signaling to his ship for emergency extraction. Kate caught him before he could escape. She knocked the weapon from his hand and pinned him to the ground. "Why did you come for me?" she demanded. The Admiral's 4 eyes blinked rapidly. "We received intelligence that you were creating bioweapons for use against the hegemony. We planned to capture you, learn what you know." "Your intelligence was wrong," Kate said. Security forces from Mars Colony finally arrived, their weapons drawn. They stopped when they saw Kate standing over the Admiral, surrounded by fallen hegemony soldiers. Her white dress was stained with blue alien blood, her eyes were cold and focused. "Kate?" It was Olivia's voice, small and frightened. She stood near the exit, staring at her friend as if seeing a stranger. Kate looked around. Wedding guests, who hadn't escaped, stared at her in shock. Her father was being helped up by her brother. Darian still lay unconscious where he had fallen. General Miller walked up to Kate and gently took the fighting staff from her hand. "It's over, Catherine," she said softly. "We'll handle it from here." But Kate knew it wasn't over. It had only just begun. Her secret was out. The galaxy had seen what she could do. And somewhere in the stars, the hegemony would be planning their next move. She knelt beside Darian and touched his face gently. "I'm sorry," she whispered, though he couldn't hear her. "I never wanted you to know." As security forces took Admiral Zorax into custody, Kate looked up at the dome above the garden. Through the clear barrier, she could see the red planet's sky. For 5 years, she had found peace here. Now that peace was gone. The cell on Phobos, Mars's small moon, was comfortable enough. It had a bed, a small table, and a window that looked out at the red planet below. Kate sat on the edge of the bed, still wearing the torn wedding dress. No one had offered her different clothes yet. The door opened and General Patricia Miller walked in. She carried a bag that she placed on the table. "I brought you something to wear," she said. Kate nodded, but didn't move to take the clothes. "How is Darian?" "He woke up an hour ago. The neural disruptor effects have worn off." "Does he know?" "About me?" General Miller sat down beside Kate. "The whole galaxy knows, Catherine. Someone recorded the fight. It's the most watched video on the Galactic Network right now. They're calling you the Bride of Death." Kate closed her eyes. "And my family?" "Your father is okay, just bruised. He's with your mother and brother in the Mars Colony security wing. They have questions, of course. Kate finally stood and took the bag of clothes. She went into the small bathroom attached to the cell and changed out of the ruined wedding dress. The clothes General Miller brought were simple. Black pants, gray shirt, boots. They felt familiar, like the uniform she had worn in her old life. When she came out, another person had joined General Miller. It was Dr. Frank Howard, the military psychologist who had evaluated Kate many times in the past. "Hello, Catherine," he said. "It's been a long time." 5 years, 2 months, 15 days, Kate replied, her voice flat. "Are you here to check if I've lost my mind?" Dr. Howard smiled gently. "I'm here to help you process what happened today. It was a traumatic event." Kate almost laughed. "For me? Or for the hegemony soldiers I took down?" They talked for an hour. Kate answered questions about her mental state, her feelings, her readiness for what might come next. She knew the routine well. She had gone through it after every mission in her old life. "Have you had any contact with Darian?" Kate asked when they were done. Dr. Howard and General Miller exchanged a look. "He's requested to see you, General," Miller said. "But first we need to brief you on the situation." The general activated a small device that projected images into the air between them. Kate saw the hegemony ships orbiting Mars. "Admiral Zorax is being held by Mars Colony Security," General Miller explained. "The hegemony officially denies authorizing the attack. They claim Zorax was acting on his own." "Do you believe that?" Kate asked. "No, but it gives everyone a way to avoid immediate war." The images changed to show news reports from across the galaxy. Kate saw herself fighting in her wedding dress, the footage grainy but clear enough. Alien news presenters discussed the human weapon and the threat Earth might pose if they had more soldiers like her. "They're afraid," Kate said. "Yes," General Miller agreed. "For years, most alien species have seen humans as physically weak, but technologically clever. Now they're wondering what else we've been hiding." "I wasn't made in a lab," Kate said. "I was just trained." "We know that, but the galaxy is looking for explanations for what they saw you do." The door opened again, and Kate's brother Eric walked in. He wore the formal suit from the wedding, now wrinkled from hours of wear. "Kate," he said, his voice tight with emotion, "Mom and Dad sent me to check on you." Kate stood but didn't move toward him. "Are they afraid of me now?" Eric shook his head. "Confused, worried. Dad keeps saying he should have known, that he should have recognized the signs. I never wanted any of you to know," Kate said softly. "Were you ever going to tell Darian the truth?" Eric asked. Kate looked away. "I don't know." After Eric left, Kate was allowed to shower and rest. Hours passed. She lay on the bed staring at the ceiling, thinking about Darian. Would he understand why she had hidden her past? Would he still want to marry her now that he knew what she was capable of? The next morning they brought Darian to see her. He looked tired, with dark circles under his large eyes. He stood just inside the door, not coming closer. "Catherine," he said, his voice formal. "Are you well?" "I'm not hurt," she replied. "Are you okay? The neural disruptor?" "I'm recovered." He cut her off. "I have questions," Kate nodded. "I'll answer them." "Who are you really?" Darian asked. Kate took a deep breath. "My real name is Catherine Winters." That part wasn't a lie. "But before I came to Mars Colony 5 years ago, I worked for Earth Special Forces. I was an operative trained for high-risk missions." "Trained to kill," Darian said, his voice flat. "Yes," Kate admitted. "I was very good at it." "They called you Baba Yaga," Darian said. "I looked it up. It's an Earth legend, a witch who lived in the forest and ate children. It was just a code name, the kind of name you give someone you fear." Darian finally moved closer. "Why did you leave that life?" Kate sank back onto the bed. This was the hardest part to explain. 5 years ago, I was sent on a mission to stop a terrorist group. It went wrong. There were civilian casualties. Children. Her voice broke on the last word. "I didn't kill them," but they died because of decisions I made. After that, I couldn't do it anymore. General Miller helped me create a new life. I became a cultural liaison because I wanted to build bridges, not destroy them. And us? Darian asked quietly. Was that real? Kate looked up at him, tears in her eyes. That was the most real thing in my life. I love you, Darian. I never lied about that. Darian stood silent for a long moment. I don't know who you are anymore, Catherine. I'm still me, she said. Everything we shared was real. I just didn't tell you about my past. A rather significant omission, Darian said. His voice wasn't angry, just sad. I need time to think. After he left, Kate felt emptier than she had in years. She had lost the future she had been building. Maybe she had always known it would happen. People like her didn't get happy endings. That evening, General Miller returned with news. The hegemony has put a bounty on your capture, she said without preamble. 10 million credits, dead or alive. They're calling you the most dangerous human in the galaxy. That's ridiculous, Kate said. I'm just one person. One person who took down their elite strike force while wearing a wedding dress, General E. Miller pointed out. You've become a symbol, Catherine. To them, you represent the threat that humanity might pose if pushed too far. What happens now? Kate asked. Earth Alliance leadership is divided. Some want to publicly distance themselves from you to avoid escalation with the hegemony. Others see your new reputation as a potential deterrent against alien aggression. And, what do you think? Kate asked. General Miller's face was grim. I think the hegemony won't stop until they have you, and I think we might need Baba Yaga again before this is over. Kate looked out the window at Mars below. Somewhere down there was the life she had built, the man she had loved, the peace she had found, all of it slipping away. I'm not that person anymore, she said, but her voice lacked conviction. We'll see, General Miller replied. The question is, who will you need to be to survive what's coming? 2 days after the wedding attack, Kate was allowed to return to her apartment on Mars Colony. 2 guards stood outside her door, officially for her protection. Kate knew they were also there to watch her. Her apartment had been searched. Things were not where she had left them. The hidden panel in her closet was open, the box with her past missing. Kate didn't care. She had no more secrets to keep. She turned on her computer and saw hundreds of messages. News agencies from 17 planets wanted to talk to her. She ignored them all and searched for news about the hegemony instead. A message alert appeared on her screen. It was from Olivia. Are you okay? Please talk to me. Kate closed the message without answering. She wasn't ready to face her friend. She wasn't ready to face anyone who had known Catherine Winter's cultural liaison and bride. That woman was gone now. Her door chime rang. Kate checked the security screen and saw General Miller with 2 people she recognized, Sam Peterson and Linda Hayes from her old team. She let them in. What are you doing here? Kate asked Sam and Linda. She hadn't seen them in 5 years. Sam grinned, his friendly face unchanged by time. Heard our team leader was back in action. Linda didn't smile. She never did. The hegemony is making moves, Kate. We need you. General Miller activated a small device that checked for listening devices. When it showed the room was clear, she spoke. 3 human colonies on the outer rim reported attacks in the last 24 hours. Small raids, quick strikes. Casualties? Kate asked. Minimal. They're testing our defenses, not trying to start a war yet. Yet, Kate repeated. But they will. General Miller nodded. Intelligence suggests they're using the wedding incident as a pretext. They're telling other species that Earth has been developing super soldiers and hiding our true capabilities. Because of me, Kate said. You gave them an excuse, Linda. Corrected. They've been looking for one for years. Sam put a hand on Kate's shoulder. It's not your fault. You were defending yourself. Kate moved away from his touch. What do you want from me? General Miller showed Kate a holographic message. Admiral Zorax's face appeared in the air between them. Your human weapon will not save you, the Admiral said in his harsh voice. The hegemony will not allow Earth to threaten galactic peace. Surrender the one called Baba Yaga, or we will take action against your colonies. The message ended. Kate's face showed no emotion, but her hands had tightened into fists. They want me, she said. Yes, General Miller agreed. But what we need is information. Our intelligence suggests the hegemony is planning something bigger than raids. We believe Admiral Zorax's command ship contains the plans for a full invasion of human space. And you want me to get those plans, Kate said. Linda opened a case she had brought with her. Inside was equipment Kate hadn't seen in years. Stealth, suits, communication devices, weapons designed to look like everyday objects. The old team is back together, Sam said with a smile that didn't reach his eyes. Well, most of us. Kyle is on his way from Earth. Kate looked at the equipment. 5 years ago, she would have put it on without question. Now she hesitated. I left this life for a reason, she said. And now you're being pulled back in for a reason, General Miller replied. We're not asking you to become Baba Yaga again forever. Just long enough to stop a war. Kate thought of Darien, of the future they had planned together. A future that now seemed impossible. She thought of the human colonies filled with people who had nothing to do with her past, people who would suffer if the hegemony attacked. When do we leave? She asked. They spent the next 2 days planning the mission. Kyle Dixon arrived from Earth with more equipment. The 4 of them, Kate, Sam, Linda, and Kyle, had once been the most effective special operations team in Earth's forces. They fell back into their old patterns easily, too easily for Kate's comfort. On the evening before they were set to leave, Kate received an unexpected visitor. Her security screen showed Darien standing outside her door. She let him in. He looked different, more serious than she had ever seen him. I heard you're leaving tomorrow, he said. How did you know that? Kate asked. I have my own sources, Darien said. The Centauri Alliance has been watching the hegemony's movements too. We know they're planning something. Kate didn't deny it. What do you want, Darien? To help, he said simply. He held out a small chip. This contains access codes to hegemony systems. As a diplomat, I've been given limited access to their network for communication purposes. Kate took the chip but looked at him suspiciously. Why would you help me? The last time we spoke, you didn't even know who I was anymore. Darien's large eyes held hers. I've had time to think. I still don't know if we have a future together, Catherine. But I know that what the hegemony is planning will hurt many innocent people. I can't stand by and let that happen. For a moment, they stood in silence. Kate wanted to touch him, to see if what they had was still there. But she held back. Thank you, she said instead. After Darien left, Kate studied the access codes. They would help, but the mission would still be dangerous. The team would need to infiltrate the hegemony command ship, find the invasion plans, and get out without being caught. If they failed, Earth would have no warning before the attack came. The next morning, the team gathered at a small, unmarked hangar on the far side of Mars colony. Their ship was small and plain-looking, designed to blend in with the thousands of maintenance vessels that worked around larger ships. Sam checked their weapons one last time. Linda reviewed the plan, her voice calm and methodical. Kyle prepared the ship's systems, making sure they would be invisible to hegemony sensors. Kate stood apart from them, looking through the hangar window at the red landscape of Mars. Somewhere, in the colony, her family was waiting for her to contact them. Darien was continuing his diplomatic work, pretending nothing was wrong. Olivia was probably still trying to reach her. You ready? General Miller asked, coming to stand beside her. No, Kate admitted, but I'll do what needs to be done. They launched an hour later, their small ship moving away from Mars and toward the hegemony fleet that orbited nearby. Kate sat in the pilot's seat, her hands moving over the controls with practiced ease. Just like old times, Sam said from behind her. Kate didn't reply. It was like old times, and that was what worried her. The last mission she had done with this team had ended with innocent blood spilled. She had promised herself never again. But Promises like wedding vows sometimes had to be broken. The Hegemony command ship grew larger in their view screen. It was massive, a city in space, home to thousands of the four-eyed aliens and their leader, Admiral Zorax. Approaching target, Kate said, her voice cold and professional. Prepare for infiltration. Baba Yaga was going hunting. The Hegemony command ship was like a small city in space. Kate and her team moved through its maintenance tunnels, dressed as repair workers. The disguise was simple but effective. No one looked twice at maintenance staff. Security checkpoint, ahead, Kyle whispered through their comm system. He was monitoring the ship's internal communications from their position. Kate gestured for the team to stop. She pulled out the chip Darian had given her and inserted it into a nearby access port. The security door ahead beeped and turned green. His codes work, she said quietly. They continued deeper into the ship. According to their intelligence, the invasion plans would be in the central command center. Getting there would be the hard part. Getting out afterward would be even harder. Sam moved close to Kate. Just like the mission on Titan, right? In and out. No one knows we were there. Kate didn't respond. The mission on Titan had been her last before she quit. It had gone wrong in ways she still had nightmares about. They reached a junction where the maintenance tunnels ended. From here, they would need to move through populated areas of the ship. Kate checked the small device on her wrist that monitored life signs nearby. 4 guards ahead, she said. We need another way. Linda pointed to an air duct above them. That should lead to the level above the command center. One by one, they climbed into the duct. It was tight, but they had trained for spaces like this. Kate led the way, moving silently despite the metal beneath her. Years of training never really went away. Below them, they could hear Hegemony officers talking. Kate recognized words about Earth, about human colonies. Her translator device picked up phrases like preemptive strike and neutralize the threat. They were directly above the command center now. Kate could see Admiral Zorax through a grate in the duct. He had been released by Mars colony authorities as part of a diplomatic agreement. Now he was back on his ship, planning war against her people. Kate signaled to Kyle, who took out a small device and placed it against the duct wall. It would record all communications in the room below and copy any data on their systems. For 15 minutes they waited as the device did its work. Kate watched Admiral Zorax point to star charts showing his officers where they would attack first. She felt anger growing inside her, the cold rage that had once made her so effective at her job. The device beeped softly, indicating it had finished. They had what they came for. Now they needed to leave. Just as they started to move back, an alarm sounded throughout the ship. Red lights flashed in the corridors below them. We've been detected, Linda said, checking her own device. No, Kyle replied, looking at the security feed he had hacked into. It's not us. Someone else has been caught. On the small screen, they saw a figure being dragged into the command center by Hegemony guards. Kate's heart seemed to stop when she recognized who it was. Darian. Admiral Zorax stood over the captured diplomat. You thought we wouldn't notice your access codes being used, he said, his voice cold with anger. You betray your own people to help humans? I'm trying to prevent a war, Darian replied, his voice steady despite his situation. The Centauri. Alliance does not want conflict with Earth or the Hegemony. It's too late for that, Admiral Zorax said. But perhaps you can still be useful. The human female values you. Perhaps she will trade herself for your life. Kate felt her teammates, looking at her, waiting for her decision. The mission was to get the invasion plans and leave without being detected. They had the plans. They should leave now. But Kate couldn't leave Darian. New plan, she whispered. Sam and Linda take the data and get back to the ship. Kyle and I will get Darian. Sam shook his head. That's not the mission, Kate. It is now, she said, her voice leaving no room for argument. Reluctantly, Sam and Linda took the data device and moved back through the air duct the way they had come. Kate and Kyle continued forward, looking for a way into the command center. They found an access point and dropped down into an empty corridor. Kate checked her weapons. She had a stunner that would temporarily paralyze its target, and a knife hidden in her boot. Not much against a ship full of hegemony soldiers. "This is suicide," Kyle said quietly. "You can go with the others," Kate told him. Kyle smiled slightly. "And miss watching the Baba Yaga work?" "Never." They moved toward the command center, taking down 2 guards who stood in their way. Kate's movements were quick and precise, exactly as they had been at the wedding. The person she had tried to leave behind was fully awake now. When they reached the command center doors, Kate paused. "On my signal, cut the power to this section," she told Kyle. He nodded and connected his device to the ship's systems. Kate took a deep breath, readying herself. "Now," she said. The lights went out, plunging the command center into darkness. Kate moved through the doors like a shadow. In the confusion, she took down 3 officers before they knew what was happening. Kyle followed behind her, heading for the control systems. Admiral Zorak shouted orders in the darkness. Emergency lights came on, casting a dim red glow over the room. Kate saw Darian tied to a chair in the center of the room. "I know you're here. Human," Admiral Zorax called out. "Show yourself or your mate dies." Kate stepped out of the shadows. "Let him go," she said. "This is between you and me." The Admiral laughed. "There is no negotiation here. You will surrender or he dies." "You made a mistake attacking my wedding," Kate said, moving slowly around the room. "You made a bigger mistake threatening someone I care about." "Your reputation is exaggerated," Admiral Zorak said. "You are just one human against my entire ship." Kate smiled, and there was nothing kind in it. "Haven't you heard the stories? I am Baba Yaga." She moved faster than the Admiral could follow, disarming the guard next to him and using his weapon to stun 2 more. Kyle had reached Darian and was cutting him free. Admiral Zorax pulled out his own weapon. "Enough," he shouted. "I will end this myself." He fired at Kate, but she was no longer where she had been. She appeared behind him, as if by magic, and pressed her knife against his throat. "Call off your invasion," she said quietly. "Or I will. Show you why my name makes your soldiers afraid." The Admiral froze. "You would not kill me, it would start a war." "You're already planning a war," Kate replied. "But I don't need to kill you, I just need you to listen." She pressed a button on her wrist, and Kyle's device projected the invasion plans they had stolen. "We know everything. If anything happens, to us these plans go to every species in the galaxy. How many of your allies will stand with you when they see you plan to attack unprovoked?" For long seconds no one moved. Then Admiral Zorax lowered his weapon. "What do you want?" he asked. "Safe passage off this ship," Kate said. "And a message sent to your fleet. The humans are not your enemy, but we will defend ourselves if attacked. Even one human can be more dangerous than you imagined. Think about what more of us could do." The Admiral nodded slowly. Kate released him and moved to Darian's side. He was injured but conscious. "You came for me," he said softly. "Always," Kate replied. They made their way back to their ship, the Admiral's reluctant promise of safe passage holding true. As they left the Hegemony command ship behind, Kate looked at Darian. "I'm sorry I lied to you," she said. Darian took her hand. "You didn't lie about what matters, and now I've seen all of you, Catherine Winters. The diplomat and the warrior. Maybe I can love both." Kate smiled, a real smile that reached her eyes. "When we get home, maybe we can try that wedding again. Without the invasion this time." As their ship sped back toward Mars, Kate felt something she hadn't expected. Hope. She had been Baba Yaga again, but she hadn't lost herself in the process. Perhaps she could be both the person she was and the person she wanted to be. The galaxy now knew what humans were capable of. And Kate knew what she was capable of. Not just destruction, but also protection. Not just fighting, but also love. She was Catherine Winters. She was Baba Yaga, and she was finally at peace with both.